And we continue our conversation with Jerry Bader, Communications Director with MediaTrackers.org. Turning to the governor's race, Tony Evers, Scott Walker, sparring over issues like education, healthcare, Foxconn. In your view, what is the most important issue facing Wisconsin's voters in the governor's race?
I would say whatever level it's at right now, and there's been a very successful effort to do this, pre-existing conditions and continuing that protection if the Affordable Care Act is repealed has been successfully parlayed at both a federal and a state level. I spoke with the governor about this a couple of weeks ago, and I said, you're losing, you Republicans in general, you're losing that PR battle, and you say that you will make sure that never happens. You're not being believed. And again, you, the collective Republican. And the governor's response was, well, there's this concerted national effort. Well, yeah, and it's working, is my argument, that I really think, Tom, that you are seeing that be a mover of an issue at the federal level and in the governor's race. And yes, you've had Lieutenant Governor Clayfish running ads trying to, we will never let that happen. I don't think voters are convinced of that. And I think that that issue is resonating very well and playing for Democrats very well. I don't know, Foxconn, I just, it's certainly not a winner for Governor Walker, it wouldn't seem. I think the roads issue is probably there if you look, and education spending. But I really think the pre-existing conditions are trumping everything right now.
On pre-existing, 3 weeks ago, Governor Walker sat right there where you are, and I asked him about that. I said, there are people out there who believe that if you, Scott Walker, and Leah Vukmir are elected, the rug will be pulled out from under them. Their safety net will be gone. And he vehemently said, no, that will not happen as long as I'm governor.
I don't think voters are buying that. I just, here I think is why. Because it's there right now, right, in the ACA. It's there. You're telling me that if that is successfully done away with, you're going to figure this out. Well, how about we just leave it there? And that's the problem, because that and the 26-year limit where your adult children could stay on your insurance, probably the two super popular elements of Obamacare. So whatever other dysfunctionalities that legislation had, you are touching the sacred cow there, and voters are very nervous about that.
Act 10, still in play, or is it a non-issue anymore? Is it water under the bridge? Has that ship sailed?
In my opinion, that ship has sailed. That is, Tom, that is so long ago. Mm-hmm. The recall, here's what I would say. Yes and no. In terms of direct impact, Act 10, is it impacting this race? No, with a yeah but. And that yeah but would be the recall election that it spurred in 2012, I think, is leading to the Walker fatigue, that maybe Democrats didn't win on that day in 2012, but the attrition, what, I'm voting for Scott Walker again? Really? I think that Walker fatigue syndrome is real, and I think it's driven in part by that extra Walker election was there, which of course was driven by Act 10. So in that regard, yes, but in the debate over that legislation itself, boy, 6 years is a long time.
Mm-hmm. In the state of Wisconsin, unemployment at a historic low. Is there anything Evers can do to combat that, or is he just stuck with that?
Yeah, I think, I don't think he can touch it. And it's interesting because as recently as a year, okay, maybe a year and a half ago, Democrats were pinning their hopes on the jobs picture in Wisconsin. I mean, they cherry-picked numbers. Look, he broke the Wisconsin economy. And obviously, high tide raises all ships. The national economy is helping, but things are really good in the Wisconsin economy. And no, but that would be playing to a significant strength.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask you about both candidates. Is there a case for an Evers win on Election Day?
Oh, there absolutely
is. There is.
Oh, yeah. I will tell you right now, I believe this race is a complete and total toss-up. Here's what is, and we'll get into the Senate race, but when you have got, in the most recent poll, you have Tammy Baldwin leading Leah Vukmir by 15 points, and you've got, I think that one showed a very slight Tony Evers lead as well. I can't imagine on election night we're going to see that kind of, split between the Senate and the governor's races. But what I would say is this. When you see these recent races where Evers up a little, Walker up a little bit, here's what that tells me. The race is too close for even solid survey research to measure. It's just too close. Don't be surprised if it is just an incredible nail-biter on election night, and if not necessarily resolved on Tuesday night. I think it could be that close.
What does Scott Walker have to do between now and Election Day?
You know, that is a great question. And if I could answer that, I would probably be doing something else for a living. It's really tough. I mean, they have, you know, they've tried a lot of things. One thing I can tell you is the ads attacking Evers for the teacher, you know, porn watching and so on in school, inappropriate behavior. My gut tells me that did not have the result that Republicans were looking for, that the Walker campaign was looking for. I don't think that was all that effective. At this point, I think it's just, you know, you ask, can Evers touch the economy? You know, obviously Walker has been, you know, focusing on that. I would try to ride that home from here because I think that's the winning card for Walker.
And we shall continue with Jerry Bader right after this. Please stay with us.